this life ain't easy, it don't take much to believe me. No matter where it take you on this journey, keep believing. On my darkest evenings, when they left me bleeding, I would have this vision, even when they couldn't seek it. Couldn't keep it to myself, living in my personal hell. No one was there to help, shit they even prayed I failed. I can't judge them, I can only dream what they was dealt. How they treated me reflected how they felt by themselves. I can only love from wasn't built how I was built. Mama was a goddess, so she would protect me. I was anointed, people could never elect me. They only throw curses, as it deepens it worsens. Not impartial disbursements, cause when it rains it pours. As my love grows, they hate me more. Too sure. How y'all feeling tonight? I'm the rose that grew from the concrete floor. Nah, you can't take from me anymore. House burnt down, closed bank account, and I'm locking the door. Feeling like Pac in the Outlaws. How we doing tonight? And you claim you want me outdoors. They don't want me outdoors. How about more cloud of smoke, hella hate, guaranteed to rope a whore. Make it do the do-si-do. No, y'all ain't ready for that rodeo. Where the roadies go, probably somewhere doing hella blow. Hey! I can see it from both sides with my eyes closed. Proud to be black, like ain't nothing getting under my nose. I suppose despite all that, I got high hopes that you feel the heart in my art for you fine folks. That's all. What up, y'all? We are here. A lot has been going on. A lot has been changing. What up, T Murdoch? I see you in the motherfucking building. Yo, it's been crazy outside. We have a new president in office and a lot of mixed feelings on the situation. What up, Tattoo Baby? How you feeling? Yeah, it's been a crazy 2025 for you for sure. Congratulations on your new relationship though, and all that. Run them likes up if you haven't. We're gonna have a conversation today. By the way, that song that just played is off of the brand new Trippy. If you can get it ready to drop the YouTube link to drop in the comments to the project, that would be dope. If you can't, I understand. To the brand new project, Janny Sue. That song is off the brand new project, Janny Sue. It is in memoriam of my best friend who passed away a couple years ago. I have spent so much time trying to decide how to help, what to do, how can I give back in a meaningful way, and so you guys can get a physical copy of the project for $4 goes to the family. You can donate directly to the family. If you'd like, I will also drop oh we'll be getting into, look, this shit is deeper than politics at this point, Tattoo Baby. This is every day out in this motherfucker. But so basically, yeah, we are gonna be talking about all the stuff that has been going on since our president has been elected. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And we got representation on both sides. I dropped a link to the project in there for people who want to listen. Yeah, no, definitely. We're gonna have merch and stuff coming down the pipeline. I'm also about to drop the Cash App to her family in case anybody wants to donate. Shout out to the people who have donated already. and purchased albums. They will be in the mail to y'all this week, and the money is sent to the family already. Oh, that's your cousin tattoo, baby. Okay, that's what's up. No, I agree. I'm not big into political parties, T Murdoch. I'm not. But so with no further ado, let's get this party started. Um, both are my good friends representing the Republicans. My friend, the singer, the rapper, the father, one of the hardest working, smartest people I know. Chucky is in the building.
Thank you. That's a very warm welcome.
Okay, that's all we do here. That's all we do here. That's all we know how to. That's all we know how to give. Run up them likes if you haven't. Share it out. Share it out. We are in the building. We are live. And we are talking about the world right now. Up next, up next, we got representing the Democrats. Okay, y'all. The creative, the father as well, the hard worker as well. He gets trippy, he gets dippy. It's funny. You know what? That's really interesting. Trippy Wild.
Hey,
What's up, my
oh,
guy? How are you
what's
feeling,
up, y'all?
Trippy?
You feeling good? Feeling lit?
Hey, I was gonna say, you know what? I think that it is very fair, right? That and interesting that you guys represent two polar opposite sides of the fence on this, but I couldn't describe you guys that much differently.
Hmm.
That's
That is interesting.
that's interesting. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting how divided we are when maybe our core beliefs and core ideology is not that much different than what we thought it was. Um,
Maybe we'll leave today with different points of view. Hey, baby
y'all
girl,
are
say
Let's
hello.
just
what up,
see.
Mr. Sloan? How you feeling today? Um, yeah, no, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. What, Chuck? Do you think that you're gonna turn Trippy Wild to a Trump supporter today?
I think that Trump supporters are uh, is more of a very specific term, whereas Republican is going to be more broader than that. So
So you don't
there's
consider
Republican values I
yourself
think that everybody can get with.
so you don't consider yourself a Trump supporter. Are you a lifelong Republican?
No, no, definitely not. I was definitely more Democratic before this
Trump?
this more recent this
Okay.
more recent administration with Biden and Kamala.
Oh, okay. So it was
I
so
always
it
considered myself a
so
Democrat.
it's more like during this recent presidential run.
Yeah, I'm the one who has changed, I would say, in the room.
Oh, okay. Where did that start from?
Where did that start from? I definitely started with views about work and how much the government should be involved. Things like um, access to government money, help, assistance, things like that.
And
And
you
then,
figured those things out during the Trump and Kamala debates, or, or at what point did that come up? What specific point are you referring to?
yeah, definitely, I would say that I definitely, when I was making my decision on who I was going to vote for, I think I realized more about myself and that my values had changed a lot over the last. few years, probably
But
since like
what were the
Obama.
Democrats not doing for the work force that the Trump administration was
That's
talking
a
about that had
that's a
to
great question. Like
yeah.
in that specific realm, where I would look at what Kamala would say about what she wanted to do when she got into office. It was just all these handouts, and I was like, you have to get that passed in Congress. And I was looking at other people and going, yes, absolutely, yes, more tax money, more a bigger tax credit for our tax returns. And I was like, I recently found out we shouldn't even really be getting back a huge tax return. So there's
What
just
up, Miguel? What up, y'all in the building? Run up them likes, run up them likes. Let us know if you feel comfortable, y'all watching, run up them likes, man. We back, we're in the building, we're live, we're talking about and I think it started off pretty interesting. Chucky's got it pretty interesting. um are y'all representing Republicans or Democrats right now in America? How do you feel? Are you guys optimistic about America? um Put a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or put uh hashtag dim, hashtag reap if you are Republican. Shit. um yeah, smoke something. I'm about to flame up because this ain't supposed to be tough. It's supposed to be talking about those things, but casually, you
I
know.
mean, yeah, I just figured she's saying things like that to in a way it's taking advantage of people because she's making a promise that she's not necessarily going to be able to keep. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Um Trippy.
Yo,
Do you have any response? Like, did you want to vote for Kamala?
I did vote for Kamala. Yeah.
Okay. What was your reason?
Uh, I mean, obviously, rights. I mean, people's rights are not going to be taken away as much with her. She was speaking on the same subjects as Trump, but she actually had reasonable answers for the situations like the border. Like she was coming up, with basically the same thing, but
Okay.
for a long term situation. But not that's definitely not my selling point. But it's obviously human rights. That's the
So human rights was your main selling point. Interesting. What up, y'all? Run up them likes. We see y'all in the building. Drop a comment. Let us know that you're here. We're live. I see y'all in here. There's a lot of strong opinions going on. Uh, we know now Trump is bought and paid for. Um, damn. So it seems like Alyssa May voted for Trump and is now not happy with the result. Or what she has seen done so far, which is also interesting. So you went in there and voted because you didn't believe in the handouts, Chucky. And Trippy, you went on human rights.
that's one part of
and
it
it's
for
the
sure.
fact that she's more qualified. I mean, she was the what do you call it, district attorney in California for years. She has that political background that Trump has a
Uh,
business background, so it's a little bit. It's like who you want running the game. You want
But
somebody
we
that.
can't.
I mean,
No, I'm
he's
sorry.
running a
Go ahead.
business. No, go ahead. You're good.
He's run a business, sure. He's also ran the country already, so he has been the president
Ran it into the ground. No.
in 2016. In 2016, there was peace in Ukraine against Russia during President Trump's first term.
Wait, you
I
gonna say that that's his doing though? I mean, Vladimir Putin, he's playing Trump like a fucking violin right now.
um it's interesting because I agree with both of you guys, right, on a lot of different things. I do feel like human rights is important. What up? We got RG um all day in the motherfucking building. We got a concert coming up April 25th in Spokane, Washington. It is going
Spokane.
down. Um
Spitting propane and Spokane.
I will be spitting propane in Spokane. So that's hilarious. We're gonna definitely be using that for commercial.
Got to.
But so one thing, human rights is important. Two, I do think that handouts have been abused, but also anything gets abused. There's always this push pull between, and it leaves somebody fucked, whether it's the owner of a business or the employees. Um, it's a human problem, though. I feel like people got to stop taking advantage of one another, and do more to make everything better. It's always so one-sided, and so biased, and it creates these disparities where either somebody's getting too many handouts or somebody's not. I know the homeless situation is absolutely out of control.
I love that you
Definitely.
said that because there's definitely I I often feel that I need to reel back in with people and remind them that we're both wanting things to get better. It's just that you think it's better to do it this way, whereas I think it's better to do it that way.
Yeah, but
And
if there's a
But I
homeless
think
problem,
sometimes the
then
people
the
don't understand.
department, my bad, the
Oh, sorry.
Department of Government Efficiency, they want to get rid of that department and the federal funding to help stop homelessness. So,
Let me see if
I
you can
mean,
agree with me on something. The reason
oh
uh,
why
yeah,
people are
wait, before
homeless,
can I just because I was still naming a couple points that I
my
agreed
bad.
with and disagreed amongst you guys.
okay, go
As
ahead.
far as how politics have gone so far, we need politics shaken up. Having the pro quo politician has not done us good. Does it need to be Donald Trump? That's a whole other story.
I think there's plenty of other Republicans we could choose. I think there's plenty of other Democrats.
You know, I think that the Democrats need strong leadership. It's tough because Obama had such a massive impact. How do you fill shoes like that? You know what I'm saying? And
What do you think was
also for
a massive
every
impact from Barack Obama?
for every for every good for every culture that is thriving, there's a counterculture growing that is eventually gonna need to be fed because it's been starving so long. And when it comes down like to equality, I feel like a lot of white males feel like their equality has been squashed trying to make others feel treated equal.
And that just ignores 150 years of oppression.
I think that presidents aren't always going to be perfect. I think that Barack Obama's biggest accomplishment was probably Obamacare and making affordable health care. I don't think that
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
made it affordable enough that I haven't. You know, it's something I kind of avoid having unless I absolutely am pushed into having to
But
try to have
again,
it
that's the thing. Like with
because it's very
Republicans
expensive.
going in and twisting the bills and everything, Obamacare is not the Obamacare that he wrote. It's the Obamacare that went through the legislation and came out as, oh, this is what it is now, kind of thing.
I
So
think it's a
not
huge
just him.
accomplishment. Just to reiterate,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
Obamacare is a huge accomplishment. Whereas
yeah. It's a
one of
huge
his
accomplishment.
not something I don't think I agree with Obama was the way that he handled Russia just attacking Ukraine and annexing Crimea in 2014. That was during his term. They
Look,
just stole a chunk of Ukraine.
I
Right, and then now they're going to steal the rest of it under Trump.
The
Believe it or not.
which leads to what we're talking about too is the things that have taken place during this presidency and under this uh term so far. And I kind of maybe we should start. You said, Chucky, you don't know much about who he nominated in his cabinet.
Not everybody. No, no, I definitely don't have a rundown of everybody that he nominated in his cap.
I mean, we're not talking about everybody he nominated. We're talking about some of the most important positions, like uh, Department of Health, which is
Like Tulsi
ran.
Gabbard,
No, that
Democrat, who is the Secretary of Defense.
uh, okay, he's okay.
Who? When was the last time you had a president do that? You have a
We're gonna
Republican president who's nominated, who's putting Democratic
well. Speaking of
representatives in his
defense,
cabinet.
one of the things that happened was the leak of the text messages to a
Yeah,
journalist.
what a mess, huh?
We'll get into that. We'll
What a mess.
slow down. Right now, there was a lot of when he came in, one of the first things
Sit
he
over there,
talked
baby.
about, um, obviously his whole cabinet was found qualified to do their job, but there was a lot of controversy surrounding who is in his cabinet, such as Linda McMahon, who is Vince McMahon's wife. Cash Patel runs the FBI now. Robert Kennedy Jr. runs the Department of Health. Um, and those were the main controversial selections. Cash Patel said that there should be no FBI, is something he said. Do you know anything about
Pete
any of those?
Headset. You said I don't know if you said that one.
No,
Uh,
that's right. That's really interesting. You should actually. I I wouldn't mind hearing about that. I'd like to hear more.
um, look, I'm uh, I'm I'm trying to say as little as possible during this to be a mediator. So it's tough for me to like. I'm not trying to like say too much, but obviously Robert Kennedy Jr. is the son of the famous
The Kennedys.
one of the most famous Democrats of all time, uh Robert Kennedy Jr. Um Linda McMahon is Vince McMahon's wife. I don't think he's been employed.
It's the WWE guy.
Wait, I'm not. Do you know who Linda McMahon is, Chucky?
You know, I don't know very much about Linda McMahon. I know you've brought her up before, but yeah, I said that I would have to look more into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like putting.
So what position does that person hold in the cabinet?
The Department of Education.
Oh, in the DOE. Gotcha.
Yes, yes.
How
I
do you
don't
feel
know.
about the
I've,
Department of
I've,
Education?
I know. I will say in Linda's defense. What up, y'all watching? Drop a comment, run them likes up if you haven't. In Linda's defense, I take that back. She has been in the Senate and has passed legislation for a while now,
Oh,
and
okay.
even I think she worked under Trump's first administration a little bit as well.
There's so many new faces and everything. There's always so many different faces that obviously run the entire country, right?
Well, I
I don't know
think
too much
it's
about Linda McMahon, but I do know about the Department of Education.
I think it's the most famous set of people, the most recognizable cabinets I've ever known of.
The um the Department of Education is something that I'd actually like to ask you guys something about. How do you
We're gonna
feel?
get in. Oh, this is a good segue because I guess with these nominations, okay, since you don't know much about them, Chucky, wait, Trippy, do you know how do you feel about the nominations? Because I can't just you said is your choice you don't know much and want to look more into it, Chucky, for that
Just as far as who that person is, I don't know too much about her personally, but
about the people nominated in general. How do you know about his administration and all?
the people that he's putting into his cabinet,
Yes.
only some, right?
Okay.
Right. So you've got J.D. Vance as vice president. You've got Tulsi Gabbard as secretary of
How do
defense.
you feel about them?
I like those. I like those choices. Right. So far, right. I feel like nobody in those positions should feel like they have been made in the shade. You shouldn't just be a career politician. I feel like we should be electing who's getting elected. I understand that in his cabinet he has that choice, and I feel like then you've got something like the Signal group chats going on. I feel like isn't that grounds to fire someone? But I'm a Republican, and even though I voted for this administration, that is my take on that. I don't think that that means that they have that position. It's made in the shade. They just can't do no wrong. Obviously, something wrong happened, didn't it? With that. So, but I don't know too much about that particular person. I'd have to know more about
I'm
them.
talking about the cabinet in general. Right now we're talking about who he brought in. But Trippy, your feelings
Yeah.
on who has been elected into or who's been put into cabinets.
I think they are qualified, possibly, but I think they're underqualified compared to some of the people that he could pick. I think he picked people that he knew was going to go with his agenda and not, question his whatever order.
My biggest thing, I feel like why wouldn't he after the kickback pushback he got the first
Yeah, I
time?
mean, Mike Pence literally turned his back on him and was like, nah, that's not,
Yeah, he
this
went
is
through
not
that.
right.
Even the Nancy Pelosi tearing that paper right behind him was wild. Why would he want to go through that a second term? I mean, I think it's crazy how he set himself up to have everything he wanted this
Yeah.
I
term.
think that I just learned that he's the first president to ever put any Democrats in a Republican cabinet at all, and
You
vice
keep
versa. There's
bringing
never been
that
any
back up.
Democrats to bring in any Republicans in their cabinet. So well, I mean, you had mentioned that he's, that's indicative of the fact that he's picking people that only agree with him when
Two
that
things
can't
can
be
be
true. That be
true.
true.
He can be
Right?
on a revenge tour and also done that. He's big on credentials. So being able to have his supporters say that over and over again in a conversation about his cabinet
That's actually
is
something I only just learned the other day.
uh,
So, so I can't say I've said it over and over.
And
This is probably the second
also,
no
time.
money
in this
talks and
in this
bullshit walks,
conversation you said it multiple times though. So that's been your
Yeah,
point
Um,
on that.
I think
That's
there's a
been
lot of
your
money
Oh,
involved with this
I guess today is the
administration. That's
second
not.
day I've ever brought it up.
no, but you've said it multiple times in this conversation.
Okay, I I'll, I won't bring it up.
No, they did not both. One person, no, we he. Okay, thank you
I
to
agree.
my
I
that,
agree with that. I agree with that
but that
comment.
wasn't
Are you
true
saying
though.
I don't know about the cabinet though? What he's trying to
He,
say?
yeah, he does. One person knows more about the cabinet than other, and he ended up did know like JD Vance and multiple members of the cabinet. He's familiar with, and he gave his opinion of. He'll give it time. So far, he likes them and what they've been doing. And now Trippy is about to say how he feels about the cabinet.
Yeah, I won't speak on any particular individuals that I don't know.
I mean, just as a whole. I mean, but yeah, shit. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you can speak on it as a whole, if you, how you feel about it. But I mean, surely you've heard the
Trippy, go ahead.
everything
Go
going on.
Trippy, go ahead. Please talk about the cabinet from your perspective.
I mean, where to even start, really? But uh, yeah, I mean, where to start? There's a lot of different positions there.
I agree.
Okay, what do you like that they've been doing so far? Is a question somebody has for you, Chucky. Amber has. Shout out, Amber. How you doing today? Give it a like, share. What do you like about what the cabinet has done before Trippy? But Trippy, you can't hold back your opinion. You're representing. If he does not know, maybe there'll be one that he knows that you don't know about, and he'll
Yeah,
have a
definitely.
chance to go in there. So you say how you feel, my guy. You know what I'm saying? It's a
I
debate.
think
We've all worked together for years now. So this shouldn't be a thing. And one of the
Yeah,
first things I said out of this, y'all are both on a fundamental ground. Let's talk about it. That's what we're here for.
I like the question somebody asked. I mean,
Yeah.
just to pick one out of thin air right now, I'd say I've always liked
There's
Trump's
so
foreign
many.
policy. Yeah, there's so many, right? I've always liked Trump's foreign policy. I like that that he seeks out peace for Ukraine. And I also do agree with the entire. If you haven't watched the entire 45 minutes of Zelensky is visiting Trump in the Oval Office, that would be I'd say that you should watch it.
I've
I watched the whole
watched
thing,
it. I've watched the whole thing.
and
yeah,
we
I've
had
watched it.
different opinions, which is
I've
funny to
watched
me. I thought that it was very there was a long time. At one point, and this is the most viral moment. It's the last like 15 minutes of this thing. At one point, all of a sudden, JD Vance chips in and he starts speaking directly, not even directly just yet, but he has an opinion, he has to say something, and the camera zooms out and you realize, oh, Vance has been sitting right there the whole time. And it seems on all these viral clips you would think that he was just there bullying Zelensky for 45 minutes, and it's not true at all. You didn't even know he was in the room.
I will say the clips were misused, but that conversation was wild. It was straight out of WWE, uh, and
WWE.
and had no business taking place. Zelensky did come in hot on that conversation, but that doesn't answer. So you like how we handled that conversation? Is
I don't
one
think
thing that
Zelensky came in
what
hot.
did
I think
you
he came in dense. He was just like not really listening. He kept on
dance?
repeating himself. He came in on a mission to get war support. He came in for soldiers and to leave with soldiers. And he wasn't getting that, and he just kept repeating himself. And I don't think he was like being, aggressive about it by any means, but he was being repetitive about it. And
So
that's
what do
why
you like
JD Vance
about
had to
the
say
foreign
to break
policy
it
to
up.
stay on subject?
But
What
he
did you
just
like?
didn't say thank you just
What I
one
like about his
time. You know what
foreign
I'm saying?
policy, I don't care about the thank yous as much as JD Vance cared about the thank yous. But in 2014, that's when Putin decided to just invade Ukraine and annex Crimea, which essentially means that if a country like were to come to America and just start war in Texas, and then after a week they say, okay, Texas is Mexican now. And that's exactly what happened to Crimea. And they shut down their power plants. They bombed them, so they had no power in Crimea. They attacked people on the street, women, men, children, and then they bombed the hospitals so that you couldn't even heal your wound. And that went on for a week. That's terrible. That's awful. That's war. And that happened in 2014. This is during Obama. In 2016, that's when Trump came in and he put an end to all of it right away. There was peace for 4 years, and then as soon as Biden comes back in, Biden meets with Putin, and they have a summit, and he just and all we know about that is that he warned him. He warned him. He warned him what? That he'd get real irritated if he does it again. What did he warn him about? So now Trump is back, and they sat with Zelensky, and they told him they're going to try to seek peace, and I believe him because he's done it before. So that does say something about his foreign policy. And I hope that's specific. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, so um you respect how he is attempting to bring peace to Ukraine and Russia.
That tells me that he is going to be able to be peaceful with other countries as well. Just the
How
way
The,
that
the
he
how
war's
did
never stopped, though. I don't know what you're saying about that. I mean, the war's been going on since 2014. It never paused. They didn't pause.
they sure did in
Trump, like,
2016
oh,
that's
until 2020.
I can say it changed in 2020. Um a producer, actually the guy who made the beat to On My Way, one of my most popular songs, is from Ukraine. And when it happened, he was begging for help, wondering why America was turning a blind eye to what was going on. Um, and then it just continued from there and has still been going on since
Ukraine is
then.
a very brave place, and they have
Yes.
very brave men. Right now, their average soldiers are
Um
45 to 50 years old. Can you imagine that?
um
All their 20-year-olds
yo,
have already
yo,
been promoted.
yo, the way that you're playing is so funny, Chucky. Because you're making a joke out of what's going on to those people out there. And that's it's sad that I feel like
I don't think it's
that's
hilarious at
my
all. I think
biggest
it's
thing
terrible
about
what's happening
that's
in
my
Ukraine.
biggest thing. Like, okay, I as far
And
as
what's
for
terrible is that America is in a terrible position to help Ukraine because of NATO. They want so bad to be a
NATO
part
is
of
for
NATO.
that.
We
That's what
can't.
NATO is
The NATO
for.
is notice. NATO is for what? NATO agrees
It's an
with Ukraine, or
allowance.
NATO
It's an
is for
alliance.
helping countries, or yes, NATO is an alliance, right? So if you attack one country in NATO, then all of the countries in NATO are all now in the same war, and that's how NATO. So that's the agreement. That is the alliance.
Yes. So then we should
The
be in the
overall
war if we're going to be in NATO. We want those
So
allies. We should.
Ukraine's not a part of NATO, but they
It
want
doesn't
to.
matter.
And
Yeah,
that's the
let them
reason
in
why they want to.
I
and then support them.
So that
so
would
how do
be
If
you
they
World
want,
War Three.
how
it's
do
not
you
going to be
feel
World
about
War Three.
So
Sorry,
Ukraine
guys.
is a known nuclear power, as are we, and
Yeah.
we are
So
talking
is
about
Russia.
exactly. So this would be a repeated, and this is exactly how World War II started.
It's also going on the opposite side in
No, there is
Palestine. I
not a
mean,
World War III going on anywhere, but that's what would happen
no, I'm saying that
if
it could be the
if
beginning
that's
of a World
not
War
what
Three. You
he
could say that
said.
Ukraine
about
was a part of
every
NATO.
single war. You could say that about every war that has, us involved or China involved or Russia involved. It could be, the start of World War Three. You could say that about any one of them.
I
Yeah. So if Russia was to attack Britain, we'd be in World War III. We would attack immediately. That's what NATO is about. So that is the reason why they haven't done something like that.
Yeah, but NATO has been helping since 2022 when they invaded.
Yeah. So we send. So that's a really great thing you brought up actually. So
Ukraine
what we
is
do is
not a
we
part of
basically all
NATO
send.
because they sided with the Nazis.
So
Right.
so Germany, Europe, and it's of itself, right? So the entire
We
continent of Europe
we gotta
is
we got
is
we gotta
all
keep
of the
we
That
gotta
was
Senate
keep
also the
it.
is
Soviet
towards
Union, though. That was
Germany,
Soviet
Ukraine,
Union. So
Italy,
that's a
Russia. That's all over there. Yeah, so
There's
that's
so
the
many things to get
same set.
into on this on all of what's going on. Um so basically you feel like they need to find peace because if they
Absolutely.
don't there'll be World War Three. And
No, I think they need to find peace because if they don't, they will be destroyed by Russia.
and the
okay.
only way they're
I
gonna find peace on Russia's opinion is by giving it to them.
Or they'll just become Russian,
They're not.
which Putin has made that
Yeah,
very
that's
clear.
not what they want to do.
No, it's not what they want to do. And I agree. I think that I don't think that we should allow that to happen, which We've stopped that once before in 2016, and we're trying to stop it again. So there shouldn't. Putin has made it very clear that he's going to take over Ukraine. Do you know why Putin wants to take over Ukraine?
Because he wants the resources. He wants control.
Okay.
Clearly, that like, why'd you ask that? Like we didn't like that was a. I don't get why you. Okay. So, how do you feel about the Gulf of Mexico being changed to the Gulf of America?
Why not?
What-
There's
Okay.
there's a giant. I mean, if you just pull it up on the map and put it up on the screen right now, there's a giant chunk of the Gulf of Mexico, and then there's a very smaller, a much smaller part of it that's Mexican, and a much larger part of it that's American, right? So I mean, just why not?
Okay.
All of it is in North America. So I mean, yeah, that in a way makes sense. But and also in a way, it seems like it's whitewashing. And it's like, okay, look,
Oh,
when you think of America, you think this, but versus okay, let's get rid of that. The name Mexico. It's kind of like, oh, we're better than you. Because it's not, it is the Americas, but it's not talking about the Americas. We both know that. It's talking about North America. It's talking about USA. And that's the kind of point that I think everybody's kind of upset about.
feelings. So it's hurting someone's feelings to change it.
It's hurting the whole entire country's feelings. I mean, yeah.
Hey, I
So
am
what?
I'm
Just like
only.
with Canada.
I'm
my
asking.
feelings are
So
not.
you think that that's good foreign policy as well?
The Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I think that's a
It's
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 I
bad
don't think
take.
that it's foreign policy. I don't think that's foreign policy.
It is for it's our relationship with another country, right? That's foreign policy.
I feel like that
Like,
could
why
that
do we
could
want to
probably
just
stir up some feelings on the other
disrespect?
side. Sure, sure.
Trippy, come on, man. Look, you got to stop being
I'm not.
friendly and just say what you feel. Trippy has the weakest responses,
Oh no,
and I concur.
That you've ever
And
heard?
that you've
you
ever heard?
that's a stretch.
That
That's
you've
a
ever heard?
stretch. But like you're representing,
Like they're
you're
like medium,
representing,
right?
you're representing your side, and you've let
At
him
least
talk.
medium, yeah.
You've let
I
him
think I
talk.
think you're doing great.
You've let him talk 90% of the time, and it's like, yo, pop your shit. This is the problem I feel like with Democrats right
I
now.
agree. I
We
100%
gotta be
agree.
able to
I
stand
don't
up
feel this is one
and
of the reasons
speak.
why I
That's what
voted for
makes
the
me so
opposition.
happy about Cory
I, di- I
Booker
didn't I didn't
is
hear
that
very
he
much that I
stood up
needed to hear.
and said what he felt. Because Trippy, you know the information. You've seen what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Change my
Yeah,
You
I
mind.
mean,
Why
I
should
feel
we
like I
change
am
the?
and
saying
Why should
stuff.
we
I'm also
leave the
where's
Gulf
the
of
trying.
Mexico alone? Why should
where's
it
the
not be
comment
the Gulf of America?
section? We need the
Change my mind.
comment section. Trippy wild in this bitch. We're smoking
I
blunts and
mean,
shit.
I'm trying to
We're
keep
not
it a little
here to
bit
be
respectful with
pretty.
shit, but
No, it's
no,
look,
I get it.
he's talked his shit, but he's been respectful. I've talked shit too. I've damn near talked more shit than you. And I'm just
Yeah,
operating off of facts. And I've spoken
yeah,
for both sides.
yeah. I mean, I'm with the facts and the feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. I think it's
I,
both are important.
I mean, Chucky,
Yeah.
what makes the Gulf of Mexico and changing it to America not foreign policy is my
No, I think you're
question.
changing my mind on that a little bit. That makes some sense what you said. You're like it's affecting another country. I'm like, okay, I could, yeah. If it was already the Gulf of America and then Mexico, decided they were gonna
We
change it
would
to the Gulf
feel
of
a way
Mexico, right?
thinking on it.
I'd be
I would
like,
kind of be
hey,
like,
yo, what you mean? So yeah, I can see how that is
and
that
he
is
just
foreign
said it.
policy. Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
wasn't
didn't really think it was before,
it
but I
wasn't
can
a
see how that could start some
conversation
shit.
with them or nothing. It was just done. It was just done.
But do you think that they should do it? I don't really disagree with them doing it
I don't. I just feel it was
or
extra.
agree with it.
I
Yeah.
think it was extra.
Very
I think it
extra.
was an extra thing to do. I think that Trump's presidency is focused more on him expanding America and doing things like that and taking us, and he said it. It's not like I'm saying, because this could be taken negatively or positively based on perspective. He's trying to expand America and industrialize America, a very old school, like golden, like gold rush era
And
kind
he's
of.
trying to whitewash America, like naming Mount Denali and changing it to Mount McKnight or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like
The
it's
names
another
were
situation.
changed.
The
The
names were
Change
changed
the
names,
to
name of a
white
mountain.
names.
the names were
The name of a
changed
white.
to other.
Yeah, it was the name of
The
So,
Denali
names
from
oh,
the
were
so
Denali
let me.
changed.
people.
So,
The names have been changed back and forth.
Right. It was whitewashed, and then they took it back, gave it to the indigenous people, and then we're whitewashing it again.
can I ask a question? So,
Yeah.
so earlier you had said whitewashing, and I guess I did that. That went right over my head. I thought you were saying he's, like showboating or showing off by doing that, which is what I generally thought and kind of, moved on past the information after I received the information. But I think you're saying something different. Are you saying that he is making the country Caucasian by changing the name, the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of
Not the
America?
country Caucasian. It's a racing history of different cultures.
Are you thinking that we're no longer going to print in textbooks that this was once the Gulf of Mexico and is now the Gulf of America as of 2025, and we're not going to
If
put that
Elon and
in
Trump has
textbooks
anything to do
anymore?
with it, I absolutely think that.
So I don't think that that's based in facts at all. I think that that's based in fear, and I don't like to operate in fear. But I will say that the
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 name
entire
change.
state of
The
Arizona
name
used to
change
be known
was
as
done in
Sonora,
fear.
and
The
now
name change
all we
was
really
done in
see is
fear.
on like menu items. We
Changing
have
it
Sonoran
back
hot
was
dogs,
done in fear, though.
Sonora
I
Avenue.
gotta say, it's all look. Everything is derived from fear. You can use it to do positive, or you can use it to do bad. You can be scared of letting your family down. There's positive fear. Not all fear is negative. Fear is always gonna exist and be around. Uh, but yeah, it's fear. His whole thing is based on like, yeah, he's taking it back and giving it to the people who mainly support him, which is white males. Now, mind you, I feel bad for white males because I have said for a long time stuff like I don't feel bad for white males. That's wild. Holy fuck. I didn't say that. I don't look, this is one thing that
I don't
bothers me.
think
This is
it's.
hold
I
on.
don't
This
think
is
that's
what
the
bothers me.
issue.
There is a double standard. Black people can be like white boy this, white boy that, and it'll be okay. Not that they should be able to say it back, but it shouldn't be said at all. Has been how I feel
Either
about it.
side, no.
And I feel like race and and that white people have to bow down because of it in that kind of like white jokes, blah blah blah. I don't fucking know, but even but also there's the idea that white people don't exist because they all came from somewhere else. We're all immigrants. And so when you're all this fight about and oh, let's read. Like, I don't like the rhetoric that's saying that when it was changed, it was a lie because it wasn't. It was the truth. Now, it can be perceived as a lie because it was called something else for so long. And now the history of what it has been called for so long is stripped from it. Like, even the football team, the Washington Commanders, trying to find a new name after the Redskins. They what? That's how I've known. Like even from, but I've had
But
radical
that, I mean, that
opinions.
seemed like that
I've
was a
had
good thing though for them to change it. But the Chiefs won't change their name. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, so what's the difference, kind of thing. But both like
exactly,
represent
and it's a
the Native
bunch
Americans
of
in a
that,
negative way.
and it's a bunch of that going on. They're both saying the
A-
same
Aunt
things.
Jemima,
I don't know. I don't know too much about football. I do
like
like watching it, but
you
I
know,
would, but I'd like to ask you guys a question. Do you
And this
so
isn't about
the
football. I
majority
don't
of
know. I don't like.
people,
It's about the name. It's all under. It all happened at the same time.
right? The name
like
change, right?
Land of Lakes,
I like to
the
get back
Aunt
to the claim
Jemima, the
of
Gulf
whitewashing,
America.
right? So do you? I know that you think that that's whitewashing. Obviously, the majority of people in this country are white,
No, those
and
ones are
everyone
not
else is a
whitewashing though.
minority.
But those ones are.
Just about the Gulf of
I feel
Mexico and
bad for
thinking that
every
that's
fucking
whitewashing, right?
body.
I just wanted to get back to that,
Exactly.
bro.
I was
You said
highlighting. Yeah.
do you think that it's possible to be racist towards white people?
Well, I've always been
Yeah, it's
told that.
possible, but
I've always been told that you can't because it's racism comes with power.
Do you believe that?
Sure. Yes.
You believe that
Uh,
it's not possible to be white towards white people because they have the power?
What?
You had said well, I'd asked you and you had said
I think
that
he means be
you
racist
don't
towards
think
white
that there is
people.
because the people have to have the power, right? And so now that you're
Sure.
thinking about it, do you
Sure.
think that it's able you're
Sure.
able to be racist towards white people? I do too. I agree. I think that you're able to
No.
be white racist towards
No,
white people.
no, no. I'm saying like a black look. The power structure of America is set up for
And I
us
think it happens a lot and people brush it
for
off
us to
because it's white
be
people,
for us to have to
because they're the
work
majority.
harder. The structure of America, the bottom line truth is black people have to work harder in America for many different
Can
reasons.
I ask you a question? What can a black person what is it that a white person can do in America that a black person cannot do?
You're missing the point.
I can
Look,
get pulled over by a cop and not
they
hear
set
from
us up for
life.
years. They set us up for years of educational gap by making us go to lesser schools and all kinds of ways.
Do
Financial
the schools that
problems.
are funded by
They
the
set
government?
us up to be starting off behind. And it's not that far
All
away.
schools are funded by the
It's
government.
it's
Not
not that
Private
far
schools
away
are not.
history.
not the state.
It's not that far away history that we're talking about. That these
Well, it's just
The
education
state
Tyler,
is
the
the
reason why I said
government.
that is because
food
right. So
deserts,
if there
food
were
deserts. There's all kinds of ways
Oh, you're
that black
both talking.
people
Hold
were
on.
set up to fail. The system is set up for black people to fail. It's not a problem when black people fail. It's set up like that.
I think that black people have come a long way and they had to fight for their civil rights, and during that time they were
And we're
definitely
taking
set up to fail because they had to fight for their own civil rights and other people had to stand up to fight for them as well. And then once they were received, they still there was in general the population around them, everybody, all the people around them did not believe in them, did not trust them, did not want them around, and were racist towards them and would fight them and would attack them and would murder them. Emmett Till was murdered just for, and accused of whistling at a sexy white woman across the street, which I'm sure never actually happened, but they murdered and killed him and beat him and threw him in the river. And this was a moment where you could say, yes, they were set up to fail in that moment. We've come a long way away from there. And tell me something that a white person can do that a black person cannot do. And I know that you had already mentioned Trippy. You already said that get pulled over without getting shot or arrested or something like that. I actually got pulled over a couple of times um, this
hmm,
last month. I've been on a freaking spree, I guess, just racing to work in the morning like an idiot. and I've gotten a couple of tickets. And I appreciate you saying that, but I'm still here.
So you
I'm
don't
not saying you get shot every time, but
look.
obviously there's
I've had
more
mixed.
instances.
I've had mixed reactions, mixed interactions with cops. The system is fucked. It's set up to be that way.
What
It's
are a couple of things that you guys use to say that is racism?
I don't go around trying to be like that. Like, okay, I try to avoid thinking
I
like
had bad
that.
connection there. I
I
didn't
have
hear what you said.
He said,
Oh,
what
what is
does it
racism?
take? What is racism to you? When like when I look, what is racism to me? You're trying to ask trick questions. It's a
I
lot
think
of
there's
things.
different
No,
types of
there's no
racism. I think
there's no
there's
trick
individual
question. I mean, that's
racism
just
and there's
simple. I just want to know
systematic
what you know.
oppression.
Yeah,
I think
like
sometimes we see things that are racist and we label things that are racist in this country.
I
I think there's
mean,
a big
whole
witch hunt for racism in this
communities.
country, and then it was found a
Bloomington,
long
where
time
we
ago.
came from,
We
like
already found it.
the way that black people don't have anywhere to go the same way. There'll be 10 black bars and one like and like they'll feel out of place in anywhere else.
I
The,
love that you
the,
say that because
the
I think a
culture
lot
not
of
being
people say that.
represented, like a lot of little things. Like I don't know. It's the subtlest.
A lot of people say that. Can I give you a little bit of context as to why we still feel that way?
Oh
Seriously,
my
no,
god,
I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I'm being chill. I really am. I got a beer. I'm chilling out. I think that one of the reasons why we say things like that is because back in the 1980s,
bro,
we were seriously we created
bro. They don't
projects
book.
in bad communities, and they were mainly used by black people, and this was to help them. But then also to further help them, we created a welfare system, which if the parents did not have a father in the home, which most of them did at that time, they would leave. And so then they would leave and they would get more money from welfare. So at some point, black families divorced their husbands and married the government. And that is the reason why we start to see, some of the downfall of black families.
That's just look.
But I don't
It's.
necessarily think that that's white people keeping people down. I think they were trying that, and it's a shame of what's happening.
I think that it's just not that simple. I
I
don't
think it
know.
is. I think that is one of my overlying reasons why I
My
don't
mom
think.
used to have to keep every single grade that she got when she went to college to become a pediatrician because they would purposely say she got D's and try to give her bad grades to fail her when
That's
she
terrible.
was trying to become a doctor. That
That is terrible.
is what I mean. Yo, Chucky, something's gotta give on your side. The screaming is too crazy.
It's
Oh, I'm sorry. I can get that fixed right away.
it's glitching.
But
My internet is going out really bad right now, but
but
can
yeah,
you all hear me still?
Is that better? Can you hear me?
your internet's going out, Trippy. Amber, would Amber,
Hold on.
Amber, would y'all want a link possibly to because Chucky's is having problems? Or I mean, I mean, I'm trying to be a mediator here, y'all. I want y'all to understand. I am a mediator. I'm not here to gang up on anybody
And
or
I could be
to
wrong if that
even
was in
really
1980s
answer the
too.
questions.
I think that's right there, but
Trippy's not giving
it's
answers. He's
terrible.
having internet. Yeah,
Hey, Brandon, I think that that's absolutely terrible what you said. I never knew that about you. That's really awful. So your mother, she was going to school to be a doctor, and she was just they were failing her, trying to flunk her out on purpose.
and she would have to prove every time that she did not get the grades that they tried to give her, that she got A's, that she was doing all her work, and that she was getting and she had to work twice as hard to earn her college degrees.
She
And
she did she
and it
did earn it,
wasn't
right?
just one, but she did earn it, right? What are we
No, I'm
Yeah.
asking you.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, I'm being as
Yes.
genuine as I could possibly be.
Yes.
I'm asking you. I don't know your mother. That's wild. I think that that's terrible, and I agree with you on that. I don't think that that's good by any means whatsoever. And I never knew that about you. It's terrible. I'm glad
So
that your mother
that's
put you
just
through that.
one of all the examples that take place. A lot of them have, but even for you to say that, so you've never encountered being treated away,
I
or
have, yeah,
even
I've encountered
even
racism.
my mixed sibling Futuristic has songs where he says he was called nigger by his white side of the family.
Yeah, and so have I. I've encountered racism.
Okay,
Plenty.
so why are
But
what are we doing? That's how brain Chucky, you
I think that in this country
that
we
is
often
wild, Chucky.
accuse what's wild.
You
I
just
think that
tried
in
to
this
act
country we
like racism
oftentimes
doesn't exist.
if
And I just had to give
just a moment.
7 examples.
I'd like to I'd like to so I think that in this country oftentimes we accuse people of racism more often than we actually find racism. And it's
I'm
because
sending
of our
Amber a
racist
link.
past.
I'm sending Amber a link. Is But go on, please.
I don't think that anything that I'm saying is disagreeable, to be honest. I think that that's pretty true.
I'm
I think
not.
that we accuse people of
You
racism
said
more
that
often than we actually find
racism
racism.
isn't a real thing. You asked me what is racism. That's kind of what you were
That's all I asked. Yeah,
inferring.
I asked what is racism, right? And that's
I,
that.
I
I
shouldn't
think that
even
that's
have
the
to
problem.
ask that.
Why
We
not?
have
I think that if we're accusing people
That's
of being
the
racist and
trick
then finding out
that's
that they're
going
actually not
on.
racist at all,
It's turned
that
into
we should know
my
what
problem
racism
with
is. If we're having an
everything
issue, what
taking
is
place
racism?
is it is going on for so long. Well, it's been like that. See, cycles happen. And it's been so long ago now that people forget. And now we're back like at square one,
Let me
where
ask you. Let
we're,
me ask you
we're
something else.
really
Do you?
going back into the
I don't know
racist
how
shit
many how
for
much video
real.
games you. I don't know how much video games
They
you play.
didn't
I
play
don't play
Michael
too often.
Jackson's music videos because they were underproduced. Like, what are we talking about? Come on, Chucky.
What was that last one? You were trying
Rappers
to
don't
sell
get the
Michael Jackson.
same kind of marketing. Let's talk about racism and airplay on the radio. How many
Okay.
rap stations how many stations can a hip hop artist get played on versus a pop artist or a rock artist, or like, come on, man. What are we
Where
talking about?
is that
There's
because of
whole
racism?
cities where you can't hear a single black artist, R&B or other. They make up that the subject
Are you
matter
saying that
is
they're
it.
only playing the white rappers on those radio stations? What
Oh
what are we saying? Or they only play the black
no,
rappers on
there's
those radio
no.
stations?
Yeah,
They don't play
but
them at all.
Have you read
we're not.
Charlemagne the God's
Look,
book from
we're
you know
gonna
Charlemagne the
stay
God, right?
on
He I
subject.
think I think you would
I
agree a
have a
lot with
list
his
of
premise.
things that to talk about, and you have
He
acted,
thinks that racism is
you
in your
have
DNA.
deflected so well about foreign policy that we haven't even moved past it. And Tyler, is your internet acting? It seems like it's acting better now.
Yeah, Trippy, you're back.
It's a
Did
little
you
better. You know, like it's so glitchy.
what did you last hear?
It doesn't even matter because we're not backtracking when we've been on here for an hour already, talking about this. But
Of
So
course.
this is actually a great segue into the next. Uh,
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's your
this
show,
is
bro.
a
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
This is a great segue because immigration was the next thing I was gonna. I wanted to discuss and how we feel like ICE is maneuvering at the moment. Are we for how ICE is moving at the moment? Are we against how ICE is moving at the
Mm,
moment? We did mention earlier that we're all immigrants.
yeah.
So
Yeah, to a
um,
certain point.
but Michael, I think that when like racism against whites, like yeah, there's all kinds of like Italians almost are not even mob shit. That's almost not even considered American culture. That's like, or if it is, it's a certain niche of it. So we're not talking about the same thing. Even you're including something different. But Amber, I'm gonna send you the link as well to join the conversation if you want to. I'll send you the link to join. Look, so who are the white people?
So who are the white people? So who are the white people? What does that
These
even mean?
look, Lord,
What does that even mean? So who are
I
they?
don't think you know who I'm talking about. It's more trick questions though. That's another trick question that you know the answer to. I'm not gonna answer any trick questions today, Michael. Okay? That's a trick question. And I'm not answering that trick question. Cause you know. The ones like even look in a country rap section and you'll look at a country rap comment section and you'll see who I'm talking about right there.
Look, you see,
Oh,
country rap is where the white people.
open racism, Confederate
Speaking of
flagging.
which, I like Shabuzi a lot, actually.
Well, he's not a country rapper though.
I think he's somewhere in.
That's not
I think he's
country
messing
rap
around
at
somewhere
all.
in there.
That's country. That's country. Ah, that's debatable too. But isn't that the beauty of America?
That's the third
I know that I
category that
like him.
we had mentioned.
I know that I like him. How are we ever going to get aliens to come visit us and hang out with us and become among us if we can't manage to get over our own skin colors?
But we're talking about immigration and ICE right now.
All right, let's talk about immigration and ICE.
Trippy, you kick this one off, please.
Well, so I feel like they're definitely not they're definitely
Hate,
I'm
hate
sorry,
stuff.
it's glitching bad, but I feel like can you guys hear me even?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
y'all are not moving on the screen. Okay,
We
because the
hear
screen
you
is just not moving
fluently.
at
We
all.
hear you perfectly.
All
Talk your
right.
shit.
So I
Talk
feel like that
about
they are not
immigration and ICE.
there needs to be more due process because they're getting people that are here legally, so that's not cool. Like the guy that was from New York that they had deported, he was a Salvadorian citizen. He got here when he was 11 years old, and they're trying to say that he's tied with gangs when there's absolutely no evidence to show that. And then now that he's there, we can't get him back. They say that they won't get him back, but they can't get him back. They're not going to be able to. So, I mean, that's a U.S. citizen who's here legally who has been deported to basically a concentration camp. So,
Yeah,
needs to
I
be
think
more
that
due
there are
process.
people on my side that are so far right that they seem to think that every part of immigration and ICE, especially with ICE, is just like a-okay. I agree that we should be not just allowing people to hop over the border. I mean, literally, I saw a video of someone just like swim right over the border, climb the wall, and walk on over, and no one did anything except record them do it. And I think that that's pretty wild. And that's just one area of the border. Obviously, it's huge. I think that border patrol is important, but is it so important that we're chasing, where we're allowing ourselves to pursue people in schools, pursue people in churches, and not stop right there? That's actually a law
we
that we uplifted
we
in our
got
students,
we got
and I disagree with some of that.
we're gonna add Amber into the conversation. What's up, Amber? How you doing?
Hi, Amber.
I'm
Nice
all
to meet you.
you.
I'm Chucky, the rapper.
So, how are you feeling? Right now
Hey, Chucky.
we're discussing immigration. We're in ICE right now. Look, nothing is more dangerous than the white liberal quoted by Malcolm X. Come on, man. The fact that they're using Malcolm X to vote for Trump is wild. Don't do that. That's egregious.
I think that what I think a lot of what you're against is more Trump related and less Republican related. I think you might agree with some Republican values, which is understandable. I think that Trump is a pretty big focus point of some bad things. I think people dislike Trump. And I've heard some of your guys' reasons as to why, and I can understand. Yeah, there's some controversy there, but is that the only option that we have in the Republican Party for a presidential candidate? No. And likewise, is Kamala Harris the
We're talking
only
about
option that you guys have for a
integration
Come
right
presidential
now.
candidate?
on. I'm sending you the link, Michael. They yo, I look, I'm not on one side. I'm just saying racism does exist. I'm just saying
No
racism does
win in a
exist.
discussion.
And
We're just discussing it.
it's sad
Okay.
to hear a black guy be like, what's racism?
I
Like,
think it's important for us to know what racism is, especially since it was held
and
against us so so
we've
cruelly.
moved it to immigration. He gave
Right?
his debate. Now they've talked about immigration. And I've let them talk about immigration. Damn, Michael. I look, I'm a don't you can't put me in one box. I'm a one on one, baby. I felt a lot of ways about the different things and have for a while. And I don't trust nobody. I don't trust either side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I think the government in
Even
I'm
general
with
has
that.
let us down often,
this is a
right?
two-sided thing. Nothing is more dangerous than a white liberal. Like, I agree and I don't agree. Cause
You
we
also say nothing is more dangerous than white MAGA either. Like,
yeah, right.
they stole, they, and what else, to please released by Trump, the
They
lady on
miss
the
they
drink and
misquote
drive, and then she
Alex Jones.
somebody
They were making gay fish. They were making gay fish. They took him out of context. It sounded silly, so they made a clip that sounded silly. But
say stuff.
exactly.
Extremism is what is dangerous. I agree. I think that both sides, we both have our extremists that I think
Exactly.
we can agree are we're not proud of, right? I don't think that we should be storming capitals, and I don't think that we should be burning Teslas.
Yo, you're
Yeah.
clearly
Storm
come
the
on,
two
Michael. I
are in
sent you the
prison now.
link. I sent you the link. But
That's the
Trippy,
thing, guys. Internet connection is bad. Come on, man. You got to work on your insults, Michael. Come on,
we got
man. You got, bro.
we can switch to Facebook Live maybe instead. It's less smooth looking, but because it'll take less internet.
Yeah, I'm okay with whatever you'd like to do.
We have bad weather here. Look, you keep.
It's been
I haven't made it a. Bro, take me out of context. Feel how you feel about it. Like, literally. That's how we get talking to. Oh, you're one of the good ones. Another term that gets thrown around a lot. Like, I hate everybody equally, Michael. There's all kinds of ignorance I don't like. I told
I do not hate people.
I love people and hate. I love and hate people equally. There's things that people do I don't like. I just told somebody don't put don't put that you've got the best gun on your kids. Who does that? I got the best gun on my kids. I got the best gun in the Midwest on my kids. Don't do that. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I call people out equally. That's rap shit. It's stupid shit. There's stupid shit everywhere. I'm just trying to reduce the stupid shit and talk about what's really going on. God damn. Chucky, am I wrong?
I think I think that I just I'm for being good and going against what's wrong, right? So I mean, I just when it comes to politics, I look at what's right and what's wrong, and
Oh no,
it's definitely wrong to leave the border wide open, right? So I think it's right to close it up. Um, is it right to just start sending people at will to El Salvador and then not be able to get them back if we made a wrong decision? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's disgraceful. That's wrong.
yeah. Okay. So from okay, let's see if it's better now. Trippy.
yep.
Okay. The next subject. Now my but Michael done thinks why won't you just come on, Mike? I sent you it. You got a lot of questions and you're making a lot of accusations over there. I, I'm never scared of a conversation. But uh with the tearing down of the Department of Education, and I guess this plays right into what we've been talking about, uh the DEI program. uh how do you feel about that? Department of Diversity, or I'm fucking
The yeah,
I just
Diversity, equity,
the
inclusion.
yes.
version.
I got you, bro.
Go ahead.
So it was up, yeah.
Trippy, start.
All right. So, like, it's obviously important because like it's good. Not everyone it proves to be successful to have in the
His shit is
workforce
cutting
or school.
up.
The DEI, nah, oh, I can't tell, but DEI is important for that.
Try to switch to your
Scholarships,
try
kids
to
to get
switch to your
scholarships to get.
try to switch to your phone and see if it works better.
Yeah, maybe
All
call
right,
in or
yeah,
something.
for sure.
I'll yeah, we'll hang out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel
Sorry, I
about
couldn't hear everything you were saying, Trippy.
DEI, Chucky?
How do I feel about DEI? Oh, yeah, you know how I feel about DEI a bit. So I mean, ultimately, in theory, DEI it is exactly as it sounds, right? It's beautiful, right? Diversity. equity, inclusion. Everyone who's diverse is going to be included, and they're all going to end up with the same, you know, opportunity for equity. And I think that that's great. And then in practice, we're kind of just counting heads and paying and being obsessed with skin color. And in some places that's just really not necessary, and then in some places I understand where they want to put a better foot forward to make sure that this place is diverse and that they are being open to letting people in, and that's fine. There's already rules in place that are telling people, you can't hire anyone with based on discrimination in any way. You can't discriminate on a new hire based on their age or their race or their religion or their gender. So then, what does that leave us? And then DEI is on top of that. So there is, and let's be clear too, DEI is not new by any means. This is old. This was introduced in the 60s. So we've already, I think that we
Which
know
is
in the
not that
60s,
old, but it's which is not that old, but it's old.
it's pretty old.
Not that
Martin
old.
Luther King
It's not that old.
was
People
assassinated in
feel
64.
it's
So it's
not
pretty
that
old.
old still. It's like, oh,
When,
it's
when we're considering
just
what we're
you can't
speaking
act
about,
like
right?
it's
We're
not
speaking
that long.
about racism. So this initiative was made specifically towards civil rights and racism. In my opinion, DEI is training wheels for how not to be racist when hiring employees, and I don't think we need training wheels. I think that we can base it off of merit, and that sounds fine. I think that this is a step in the right direction, not the wrong. And I understand how people get scared when they say that you're taking it away because they're like, now they're not going to hire black people. And I don't think that that's true. So that's where I'm coming from. So I understand if someone could tell me, I think that that is true. I think that they're going to stop hiring black people now. I understand. Again, I think that's based in fear, and I disagree. I think we're going to make the right choices.
Okay.
On here?
Yeah.
Trippy, weakest shit I ever heard, dude. This guy,
Trippy, are you there?
I heard 4 words from Trippy this whole time.
Trippy was here.
Trippy has great points. Nice to meet you. I'm Chucky.
Chucky, you're on point. I
Thank
feel
you.
like
Trippy does have great points. I want to defend him a little bit about that. Trippy
I
has great points. I've spoken
I
to him a
think that
lot,
they've
someone needs to
but I think he's
agreed
defend
having
him.
some
on a
internet.
lot of things.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
Trippy has having some internet issues as well.
But
Trippy
why are
just
you trying to
talking.
make me a racist? Is what I'm trying to
I'm
figure
saying
out.
people who say you can't be racist to white people have the same mentality of old school white racists who said black people weren't people and that they couldn't be racist to blacks. It doesn't make any sense. It's just programming, and it's a way for people to divide people who aren't intelligent. That's just what it is. You're gonna give people an excuse to make a scapegoat. Chucky's saying right here, like, you have all these opportunities. Anybody who knows, we live in a country that you could be broke as shit and jump to the level. Like, I grew up poor as fuck, and I got 2 people in my family who have made a ton of money. There's not a lot of places you could do that.
I also said what it took for my family to be able to have that, though.
Which I did hear that, but it's like, so who are the people that were like changing your mom's grades? All white people? Is that the
That's who her professors were.
who?
Yeah,
Like, but who? What kind of white? What kind of white person? You know what I'm saying? Who is it? What? Who are these people? Like, who are they? Are
her
they the?
professors.
But like, you look at who.
Why would a pediatrician lie about what she went through to get her degree
Well,
when
no,
she
no, I'm not saying she's lying.
has
I'm
her
saying,
degree and is I
I'm
mean, I'm
saying
trying to get
when I
like I
lived,
don't get what you're
I'd say
like,
this.
oh, were they old? Well, that discredits them.
No, no,
Like,
no, no, no,
no,
not if they're
like
old.
for
I'm saying it's like, all right, so this racist professor, I'm not saying he doesn't exist. These,
Mm.
these.
sure,
It wasn't in one class, it
sure.
was a
But I'll
recurring
also make the
experience.
argument like when I lived on the east side of Joliet, pure Mexican neighborhood, most racist neighborhood against black people I ever lived in. Like 100%. way more trash talk, way more disrespect to the community.
That's
You know,
different. That's
it
a
is.
whole different thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like everyone has these
It
perceptions of
comes from
racism.
different things. It wasn't like, hey, well, let's enslave and crush these people. So don't compare blacks and
So you're
Mexicans
talking
not
about the
liking each
Spaniards?
other.
You're talking about or who are you talking about?
Black,
Like,
because you said, oh, Mexicans dislike black people. They couldn't do it. They didn't enslave
no,
us
I'm.
or make laws against us. They didn't
So
have
which
that
white
power.
people?
So
Which
you're
white people?
literally proving,
No,
Chucky, do
which
you
white
hear
people?
that? Do you hear my point
I'm saying.
about power
I'm
in
saying I'm
racism?
Sicilian.
What
I'm
does it
Sicilian,
matter if the
right?
Mexicans don't like us? If they, it's fuck them. And we like one
No,
time
no,
this
no, no.
was interesting.
You're
Like
missing it,
what?
Des. You're missing
Okay,
it. You're missing
go
it.
on.
What I'm saying is I'm Sicilian. So
Hmm.
in Jim Crow days, Sicilians literally were on the list to drink out of the black fountain. Okay. Now in
You keep bringing that
2025,
up. I read
now in
these comments.
2025, I have white privilege. And really, all it is a programming to tell people, oh, if you are having a bad life and you need a scapegoat, blame it on people who are doing it because of your skin color. But like I live 20 minutes from Chicago. We live in a diverse area, people of all colors and creeds working together. And especially in music, like I never
You're
saw anything
talking
like that.
about Chicago.
Right.
There is
But that's
nothing
my
like
experience.
Chicago.
Right.
And
Right. That's my experience.
there's still racism
Oh
in
yeah. Yeah.
Chicago
100%.
from the hood over here that the cops are even scared to go to solve crimes at.
I'm
Uh,
not saying
that
racism
is
doesn't exist.
predominantly black there. The division of Chicago still, but even I'm in Atlanta, the diversity in the
I can
workplaces
give you something.
is
So
crazy. I remember the first time I got to see somebody black. Like, I've always disliked my freckles until I was in Atlanta and saw somebody and black with freckles, the sunshine, red hair, and I was like, I look like that.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty unique and pretty dope. You know what I mean?
And it was in like, but an Atlanta experience is you can only experience that shit in Atlanta. The
Well,
like
yeah. I'm just saying
the
that's
way
my
they wear
experience.
their
I would love to
shoulders
visit.
out here is just different. The way they dress, the kind of like I almost had culture shock the first time I came back to Bloomington from being out in Atlanta. It was all black people driving nice cars. Da, 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 da. I come back to Bloomington. In Walmart, it's black. Jordans are the shoe of choice in the workplace. I couldn't wear no damn Jordans in Bloomington at work. They working in Yeezys, dog.
When I went to Scottsdale, they didn't let me into the club because I had Timberlands on. You know what I mean?
That's a thing.
It
That
wasn't
is a thing.
because I was I didn't get in because I was white. No, I was wearing
They did the
Timberlands. They
same
didn't let
thing to
me
me.
in.
I was wearing Jordans, and they wouldn't let me in one of the
Yeah,
clubs. But
you're
they would
not
let me in
getting
the
in.
next one,
Doesn't
right
matter.
across. Yeah, they would let me in the one right next to it, or the one
But you
on the other
saying
side of
that
it,
you
or
don't
across the street
have
from it.
any
But
white
that's a
privilege
thing.
is crazy.
I'm
And
yeah.
and they'll tell you that they have a dress code is what it
Because
is,
that's
right?
not
So they
what
don't tell
you're
you it's
you
because we're
can't be
racist.
actually
It's
saying
not
that.
it.
I'm trying to figure out at what point do you go from the Jim Crow days where you're on the blacklist to now having white privilege. So are you saying that like a Mexican person who has lighter skin, they do have white privilege?
Especially
As long as you look a little
especially
white?
right now. No, I'm joking. But
I would like to get rid of
a lot of
racism.
them voted for Trump.
That's what I would like. I would like to
But
get rid of racism, and I think that we're almost ready. And I feel like there's
it's
a good
really
majority of this country
economic
that's ready to let go.
problems, and the economic problems have multiple reasons for them, right? But one of them is racism. And even okay, let's bring this all for full circle,
Do you
right?
think Trump's
The
racist?
racism that went against is why there's a mob. That's why there's a mob. Is because there was oppression against that side. So how did they have to get their riches? Illegally.
I mean, I won't disagree with that.
And so
Trippy's still trying to get in his chat. This
I
is cracking me
no,
up.
like first off, I'm not even
Yeah, that's too
supposed to
bad.
be giving my opinions like these.
I
So
think it's cool. I think it's cool to have a platform where people can talk, and then you can say stuff. I thought when the Gulf of
Yeah, I really like being
America
here.
thing got brought up,
he
nobody
has a
brought up the
long
fact that they brought in executive orders in to not drill there, and then like that's the reason why we changed the name so we could get around that to drill. You know, there's more thing. There's like levels to it, and I think that most of us are on the bottom rung.
You think that's drill baby drill related? Okay, I'll have to look into that more. Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, look
I
into
haven't
that
heard
well,
for
that.
he
sure.
says, wait, we can't, you don't got to be on the bottom of the rung to understand Trump's rhetoric. He says what he's going to do right out in the open. You just have to look a little bit after that. But is Trump a racist? This is a very, look, yes, Amber, I got to say, he has a long history of both not being racist and being racist, right? Because at the same time, him and
There
Roy,
it is.
his boy Roy Khan, did a lot of things
Hairball.
to when they sold properties to make it so the reason why it's funny he's tearing down DEI when he literally had a DEI case
So let
that
me
went
ask you,
against
Daz.
him.
Daz, you show up for a surgery, right?
Oh, can I finish my
You show
statement?
up for a surgery,
Can I
though.
finish my statement? Hold on. He did the
Okay.
DEI. He had his thing with Roy Khan, but he also has been on a Method Man album. He's also hung out
Yeah, for
with
sure.
Diddy. He also wrote a letter accusing kids who weren't guilty of being guilty. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's
Y'all
a
have fun
very
calling that guy.
multi-layered question. He's also pandering to alt right to a certain extent because that has helped
Disagree.
him.
100% disagree
Bro,
with
they
that.
love him in the alt right.
I
And they
don't. Here's the thing. I'm not even like some Trump Messiah guy who's like Trump's the Messiah.
the
He's
alt
leading us to the.
right loves him.
So they loved the Clintons too.
No, they did
Yes, they
not.
did. What are you talking? Of course they did. Of course they did. Look at who they roll with, dude. Like, so here's my point with the DEI. I know for a fact if you go into a surgery, you ain't walking in seeing your surgeon, whether they're white, black, Chinese, whatever. You ain't like, oh man, I want a black surgeon. I don't care if this is the best heart surgeon in the world. Like, I have to have a certain race. If that's your mentality, that's a bad idea. We want the best people doing the best work. Now, for like Target's DEI,
Well, okay.
who
Why not?
cares?
Why not though? Why like hold on. The division, look, this is such a polarized this whole situation here, right? The fact that the conversation about Trump's presidency has been so focused on race, and even almost every single topic accidentally, coincidentally plays right back into race in some way, shape, or form.
Well,
Hold
that's where
on, hold
people
on,
pull the
hold on.
argument.
If we can finish sentences, it'll be
Okay.
amazing. Is interesting. And it's clearly for a reason. But damn, and see, you done took me. I done forgot what I was. What was I? Chucky.
You were
What
saying
was I?
something about how much you love Trump and
That-
Immigration.
how
We're
you
talking
were
about
gonna definitely get
immigration
out there
methods.
and make sure JD Vance is the next president after this.
bro, chill. Okay,
um,
no, but
Make America the greatest,
that's right.
greater.
The Greater
so
Depression.
And my problem though, I
You
guess
said Greater Depression.
my biggest problem is
Trippy's internet is back, and he's snappy with it.
Trippy got that Biden internet, dude.
my problem.
My favorite. I want to give you one. Trippy. You'll like this one. My favorite one I heard this week was terror riffs. I was like, wow, that's good.
Um,
That's
my
you terror
problem.
riffs.
One of my problems, right, is the fact that while we're tearing down the DEI, and this is where also it seems what is the actual purpose, if not racism, is that he doesn't actually care about how qualified anybody is or isn't. He's not
so
he's
let me
not
ask
basing who
Daz.
he's picking. He also wasn't qualified to run for president when he ran.
I mean,
And
what do you
so
mean?
that
What do you mean
being
he's not
such a
qualified?
when he ran the
I mean, he
first
has no
time,
political
he did
background.
not have a background.
Well,
Can
that
That's
doesn't
I
my
qualify
actually ask you
meaning
you.
guys a
for
question
it.
here, real quick? All
That
to
doesn't
everybody on the
qualify
panel.
you.
Does anyone know what the three
Bro,
qualifications are to
Mike,
rolling
you're
for president?
fucking kidding me right now. Of
I would
course.
love to hear.
Of course you
What are
gotta have some
if everyone
experience.
knows?
Of course you gotta have some fucking look. Me saying that he was not qualified. He's talking about when he's talking about qualified people, he's talking about having people in a field that are fucking experienced.
So
So
you're
when I'm
talking
saying that he was not qualified, I'm being very fucking direct when
okay.
I mean that, and you know exactly what I mean.
So is
I'm not sitting
RFK?
here asking any questions like what's racism? I'm not asking any of those questions
How
tonight.
sway?
So
So don't
How
play
does
sway?
that
actually
game
Look,
with
the
me.
question I'm asking? I know you're getting really passionate,
yeah.
but the question I don't mean to mess you around or mess with you. Just I am being direct. The question you asked was you proposed that President Trump is not qualified to be the president and that he wasn't qualified to be the president in the
No, I
first
said
place. And so what I was asking you is
I
if
said
you
in
knew
the
there's only
first
three
place
things
he
that
did
you
it
need in order
because
to
of
run
a
for president.
joke Obama made after being fucking harassed over
Actually,
this
Donald
is a
Trump
oh my
has
lord.
made a lot
I gotta take him off.
public statements that you can see throughout
Bro,
his entire
all
career of suggesting that he was very interested in running for the presidency, and that's in his much younger days as well. But that's neither here or there. What I'm saying is that there is only three things that you need.
let's
You can run for the
how do
presidency.
you feel, Chucky? How do you feel about him
Des, how do you feel about
how do you
being the
feel about
president of the United States of
how do you
America?
feel about him questioning if Obama was
President
actually
Daz Exotic.
American or not?
Well,
So I think
it's funny. That's another left wing propaganda because who actually started the birther rumor? It's Hillary Clinton. And it's actually from a memoir that
I
actually was
didn't
real.
say I didn't mean to say he started
So
it.
so
He
here's the thing though.
propelled it.
The White House releases a pamphlet that literally says that
Lord.
Obama was born in Kenya. Then
I love that you brought that up.
Hillary uses it in a debate to try to make Obama look bad. Then obviously, yes, like
And
Trump
it
ran
did.
with it and that was probably a mistake, but like it's
And it
hard
did.
to criticize Trump when it actually starts with the left, which is most of the time what happens.
Look.
I mean,
And that
that's just a
smeared
fact.
Obama's run very badly. Yeah, I remember that. I had a roommate who was just shocked to death when I told him that Hawaii is American, and he just didn't quite understand that.
I can't
And
believe this
that was
shit
a big
right
thing. That
now.
was left-sided
Daz is in
propaganda.
trouble. He doesn't have
Because,
Trippy.
but Daz, here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
in
Here's why it's
trouble.
important.
I'm not in
Because there's only
trouble.
three things that you need in order to become the
And
president or
bro,
run for the
first off,
presidency is what it is. And that's to have been born in America. And then the second part of that one thing is to have been
Age.
a U.S. citizen for at least the last 6 years. And that's because our founding fathers knew that rich people like Donald Trump would
bro,
want to run. And,
like
when you're
I'm
rich, you don't have
not
to
left.
necessarily be here.
I'm not left. I
I'm not
just
right.
know
I'm
what
not
You
I'm
could
right.
leave the
watching.
country.
I just
Yeah.
know what I'm watching. And this is all a
Well, I'm
game
not calling you
and a
left. I'm
power
just
play for
you
Trump.
asked an
He
important
wants
question.
to
It's
be
very
the
important. I think for
greatest.
your audience, it's important
Okay.
to make sure that they know.
So
There's
hey,
only three things that you need to be the
I
president.
gotta
and
jump
that's to-
off. So let me get one piece here, and then I want to hear what you say, Dad.
You
'Cause
gotta go for real.
my
I
baby's
actually
up,
do
and my girl,
too.
I'm feeling the vibe. But here, check this out. So this is my only point. When we talk about power, I'm an InfoWars guy, dude. I think there's a giant cabal of people that just want everybody dead anyways. So if Trump is this guy who's had power, he's had respect, he's already done everything in the game you can do for a long time. The only thing this old man has left is trying to make a legacy that goes up with like George Washington. So at the end of the day, if this guy is trying to be a conqueror to spread America across the world, what better place to take over the world than America when we literally already fund everything? We already do everything. So yeah, like welcome to freedom world. And we're gonna give it to everybody. And like people don't understand. You want Kamala Harris as your president. The people in the Middle
I
East,
have look. I
I'm saying if
haven't.
you did, the
The
Middle East
first
wouldn't
thing I've said
negotiate
is that the
with
first
a
thing
woman.
I've said
Is America's different,
is
dude.
that the
Ukraine would be
Democrats have
Russia.
had weak representation.
I think George
I'm
Washington was a good example, though, considering he owned slaves. So you're right. He probably could be labeled as
Trippy,
the
you
same
are the
thing as
worst,
George.
dude. You're Trippy. You're literally
He's
like
not the. He's not the worst. He's
to
been.
call George Washington a slave owner. Like you're just
He
completely
was.
disregarding the time era. Like you could act like
Oh
you're
yeah, so it was
empathetic or
okay
you
to own
know you
slaves,
would
so
be
that makes it
different.
okay for him to own slaves, right?
No, I'm saying if you
Since
were
it
in
was
that
okay,
time
since
period, you
everybody was
probably
doing
would
it.
have because you don't understand.
You think I would have?
You're.
That's crazy. I mean,
It's so easy to
not
say you're a good
everybody
guy.
would.
It's so easy to say you're a good guy.
Everybody would have owned
It's like-
slaves just because it was all right, Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Did
well,
what
Trippy,
Germany
everybody
do
wants
in
to
the
go to
Underground
Egypt,
Railroad.
but it was built by slaves.
Everybody in Germany would have
exactly,
been a Nazi.
exactly. Dude. The
No.
Hebrews were slaves
No.
too.
But I
Like,
don't think that. No, wait, hold
I'm gonna
on,
get Kanye on the podcast, dude. Get him on here.
bro. Look, I love Kanye.
Yeah, good. We should be talking about that. What's going on with Kanye?
No, wait.
Everybody wants to wear Nikes,
Well,
but they are built by
ultimately,
slaves.
Kanye is why Trump is in office right now.
So another
If we
example.
really want to open up a whole other, but like my problem with like what you said is crazy to just say you would have
I'm,
owned
I'm,
slaves because that's not the that's
I'm
because
saying you can
first
go
off,
back and call George
obviously
Washington.
people thought it was wrong and acted on their gut feeling.
What I'm
Not
saying,
everybody thought it was cool because it was cool. And I constantly go against the tide. I don't give a fuck about it.
which is right. That's why we love you,
I
Daz.
think a
Come on.
lot of Republicans go against the tide. That's exactly what
You're
What?
the
not.
issue is with
You're not going
Republicans.
No,
against the
they
tide.
don't. They
go
fall in
against the
line
tide.
with the grain of America.
Yeah, I don't think that the government should be so involved as they
I don't
are
either. I
with
hate the
things.
government.
Which is why I think that that's a big Republican value.
But they
And
champion
then that's
police
why
the way that
we
it
don't
is
think
now, which
Look,
is
I don't like police.
stupid.
I don't like police, but they
I
do
would
have to
love to
exist.
speak more with you guys
I
about
don't
this.
not
Actually,
want
it sucks that we're
police,
running
but
out
I
of so
want
much time.
policing changed.
But
I agree.
unfortunately, I really didn't think through what would happen after my daughter had those shots today. She's having a hard time just like walking around, and she's
She's
fussing pretty
still
bad.
up.
What'd you
Okay.
get?
Yeah. She had 3 shots. She's only one. So, and then my oldest, she's 4. She had 1 shot, so she's all right.
Well,
But the
congratulations.
youngest one's
I got an
still on. So
11-month-old right now, and I'm curious
yeah,
about
that's
the
about the
shots
same
too. I
age.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
you think RFK doesn't deserve the position? Do you think he's not qualified?
I guess
No, he
so.
does
What I'm
not
saying
deserve
is
the
that I'm gonna
position.
have to take off though, guys. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I
All right.
gotta
we
run and take care of
understand
that.
that. Yeah.
Do your business,
Alrighty.
man.
So
Appreciate
sorry
you. And
about that.
thanks for your
I
time.
really
Sounds
wish that we
great.
could. Yeah, I really, I enjoyed talking to you guys. I do. I think you changed my mind a little bit, Daz, on the Gulf of Mexico. You definitely did.
Look
I
it
think we
up. Look
found
up the
middle
We
ground.
executive
didn't
order.
get to get into much of my
Yeah, I don't think we got to get into too much that you wanted to talk about. I'm sorry about that, and I'm sorry I didn't know too much about the specific cabinet members. I'll go
hopefully you
through
can
them.
look it up and come back, but we didn't get to get into Elon Musk or Doge.
All
We
the
didn't get
juicy
it.
shit.
We didn't get to get into tariffs we didn't get into the building of the car plants in America. We didn't get to get in it. We'll have to do a part
Yeah,
two.
all my favorite stuff.
We'll get into it. We'll have to do a part two or
Yeah,
something.
we're
I
gonna
think
get in
I
here.
agree.
Trippy's
I am
gonna get
100%
his
with that.
internet working, and then he
Trippy,
can
I'm
jump in
gonna
this
go
too.
ahead. I'll give you some of my internet if you need, and we'll
I
get
don't
this thing going.
appreciate you
Yeah, I need a
bullying Trippy. Trippy
Hey,
has
I
been
gotta be a
mad
villain. I gotta be a
respectful.
little bit of a villain.
No, we heard you the first time. I'm the villain around this
And
motherfucker.
I stood up for Trippy too. I said
Look,
no.
Daz
Trippy
is
actually
always
does
gonna
have
be a little
lots of
salty
very
with me
great
because
points
I
on all the
beat his
stuff he's
ass
talking
so bad in Mortal Kombat. He's never gonna let it go.
I don't even remember that, but now
I'm
that you
sure.
If you
reminded me,
guys are on PSN, we're gonna have to all make sure that we're doing
Beat him
that
to
Mortal Kombat
amnesia.
together.
He don't even remember the beating. He
bro,
don't
you
even
coming on
remember.
here,
All right, see you
but
guys. I gotta go.
Chuck,
all right, man.
I'm just
Well,
playing.
boy, zoomed in.
no,
I was not ready for my close up, bro.
yeah, you finally got your shit working right too, bro.
Yeah, I had to put my router closer to the window, I guess.
You gotta get that Starlink, man.
Fuck
Bro.
that.
uh, but y'all go stream the new project,
Hey, I
Janice.
did listen to it. I did listen
Oh,
to
you
it.
did.
I
How'd you
listened
feel
to it
about it?
today in the whip with Griff, and I liked it, man. You put the passion in the bars. People don't understand. It's not even. I like when I hear an artist and it's authentic, and that's really like that's the only way I feel music. I don't really care if it's catchy, whatever. I like when it's authentic. I feel what you're saying. I get it, and I think it's good. That would be my review on it.
That sounds like you're skipping out what you don't like about it. That sounds like a
It
kind
was a
reason.
backhanded compliment.
Yeah, that was backhanded as fuck.
I mean, that's the thing about lefties, dude. You guys think everything's a backhanded compliment. That was
Don't
just a
call me
compliment,
it.
dude. You
Don't
guys gotta
call
stop
me
being
it.
so soft and being victims all the time.
Whoa,
Stop being a
whoa.
victim.
Stop
I said your
calling me a
music was
lefty.
good. I liked
Stop
it. Stop.
calling me a lefty.
You
Don't
say stop
call me
being a
a
victim, but you've
lefty.
been coming at me this entire time.
You
Yeah.
just well, that's
And
what I'm
he
saying is
hasn't said anything.
so
He's
trippy.
taken it
Trippy. This
all
is
very well. Don't do
here.
that.
Here's what I'm
We got to
saying.
tell the truth.
I
If you're gonna
voted for
be
Bernie
at least I'm
Sanders.
a villain who tells the truth.
I voted for Bernie Sanders, okay? The DNC robbed my candidate 2 times in a row. That's when I started realizing the DNC was corrupt. And I look
And
at
you
it
talk
and they
about me
used to
being left. Bernie Sanders is the most left.
I
Are you
know.
kidding?
I know. I already said I'm all over the place. I'm like, Daz, you can't put me in the box. People would think I'm like a right-wing maniac, but I voted for Bernie. So it's not true. It's just
So
if
you're
you
just a
look at things
maniac.
objectively, at one point the left used to defend art. They don't defend art anymore. Everything has to be in a box. It can't be out of the line. You can't say offensive shit. If you say something, you're offending everybody. So the left lost what it meant to me to be a liberal. Like you're supposed to let people do whatever they want and not force other people. So like even their whole movement of LGBTQ, whatever, they force it on the people to make them feel a certain way. You could do whatever you want in this country, just don't force
Like
people into
people,
it. Huh?
make
What?
them feel like people. I can't hear you, Dad.
No, I don't care about their feelings or whatever the fuck they're doing. They chop their dick off. They're not a woman to me, but you could be a woman in your mind. Just keep it in yourself. That's how it is. Like you can't force other people to make them have your opinion. That's like not freedom. You understand?
You can't force other people to make them have your opinion either.
Right, I'm not. I told you you could do whatever you want, but you
As
keep it
long
to
as you don't say you're
yourself
a
and then
woman.
don't worry about my opinion and try to change someone's opinion. That's how you force people into a different direction.
Daz, your mic is not working.
Definitely an opinion has been forced.
Yeah,
A line has
100%.
been drawn clearly. So the decision has been made for them. I don't like the compare. I do think it's tough. I do think it's tough because LGBTQ just compare themselves to, and it's not funny. It's not
No,
funny.
you seem blunted, Des. You seem like you're fading out on me here.
Oh, okay.
You
But
seem,
um, I mean, we've been going. Look, first off, there ain't no Let's Vibe TV. So even me being here
what
and
is that?
giving and giving my voice right now is a whole thing within itself. I appreciate you being here, right?
Hey,
But
I
people,
love it. I'm glad you're doing this. What?
no, and like, yeah, but you know, like, there's people way worse, right, at doing this that get way more clouded, and people undervalue my voice. And do you know
This is my favorite podcast.
the most important thing to me of anything, more than I care about fame, more, because if I cared about fame, I'd be I'd be way crazier than I am. Okay. If I cared about money, I could be in a whole different place. I care about voices being heard. So, above anything, I feel like my voice has been oppressed. So that's why I do it. When people undervalue my voice, I will take it away.
Well, like I said, I'm going to be dipping. I hope you know that I value all artists who actually have the guts to do what you're doing. And I've said it a million times. If anything,
You've been watching for 10 plus years.
I have the I take over rooms T-shirt, and
Hey.
I still wear it. So,
Okay.
um, I'll
Oh,
say this: I've said it a long time. If anything that really impresses me, look, I'm a rapper too, so you know what rappers do? They don't really listen to other rappers. They're more concerned about themselves most of the time. I'll admit that I fall in that path a lot of times. I am always impressed by people's work ethic, and your work ethic is top tier, man. You do it. So props to that. Trippy, I'm just giving you a hard time, dude. I hope you don't take it too serious.
I gotta defend my bros because I don't ever
I
bring
had to jump in
anybody
for
on
Chucky.
here.
I had to jump in for Chucky. I saw it. I saw Amber coming in from the side. I was like, I ain't letting them 3-1 this guy.
No,
Um,
he was holding his own though
he
too.
was. Chucky was
He
really
was
well
holding his
spoken,
own,
and I
but
liked
he was
everything he said.
not. But he was also silly. Well, look, the whole thing going on in America is silly.
It is. It is. It's a bummer.
It
Actually, it's
is
a
a
bummer.
convoluted mess.
Yeah, it's a bummer, and really, I hope we can all just agree on one thing, and that's in 10 years that if we have kids and shit, that this is a better system for them. That's just it.
And that's the whole goal of even trying to have this right left discussion. Hopefully, find some middle ground. You weren't here at the beginning. The first thing I said out the gate is, damn, both y'all are great dads, hard workers, big dreamers, like, and friends of mine.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
but yeah, go take care of your family.
I'm going to. And this is great. Hopefully, I get on the next one. Let me know. Send me the link. I'll come in hot. Trippy, get ready, dude. We're going. We're going to do facts and feelings, dude. You ready for it? He don't
Yeah,
like
I'm
me. I
ready.
can tell.
Always.
He's looking at me through the camera. He don't like me at all. I can feel
No,
it through there.
hey, look, you want to be the villain? Look, I, it, I think Amber's valid, and she's look, people are passionate and they should be. I love that politics is a topic like this. I love that people are talking about what's really going on in the world and how it's affecting us and how it's affecting our future. So
With that, I'm out. Daz,
Yeah,
you're
man.
great. Trippy, keep up. If you're a dad, congrats, man.
yeah, an amazing father
All
with
right,
the
man.
most
Peace out,
beautiful
guys.
daughter. Peace.
Mhm.
Trippy. Oh
Yo,
man. It's another
that was
crazy
interesting. I wish
day.
my internet connection was better for that whole situation. I feel like
Yeah,
this could have
we're gonna have
come.
to fight. We're gonna have to roll in a part two or something. Get to these other subjects.
Yeah,
Hopefully in a day or two, some super soon. But y'all have a good rest of y'all's Saturday night.
thank
Peace.
y'all for tuning in. Shout out Amber and Jane, dude. That's my
Yeah.
coworkers, so shout out to them.
Hey, fiery, passionate, and all on the same like. That's hey. That's what it's gonna take. So,
Yeah.
all right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.